Sometimes the best thing that we can do is just to show up, just to bring the body that the mind will follow. When you look at the story from the Gospel of Luke, how St. Peter, for an entire night, was trying to catch fish. The last thing that he ever thought of doing was to throw the net in one more time. And yet, Jesus told him to do that. Jesus told him to throw in the net one more time. And he said, "Lord, I was out here all night trying to catch something, and I've caught nothing. But because you have told me to throw it into the water, I will do that." And what happened? Not only was the net full, but it was like breaking apart. Peter needed help from the other fishermen to go pull it to the shore. And then Peter knelt down and said, "Depart from me, Lord, for I am a sinful man." And Jesus told him, "Do not be afraid, because from now on you will be catching men." A lot of times, definitely a lot of times, we often think like, why do I keep failing? It seems nothing is happening. And we might even reach a point of just not caring anymore. But I think there are times that God Himself believes in us, that we can do it. After all, that's why He went to the cross. He died because He had that belief that we can be saved, that we could win. And it's in those moments that we need to be willing to, at the very least, bring the body with that trust that He can help us to move mountains. And St. Peter, like all of us, he was flawed. He denied our Lord 3 times because he relied so much on his own strength to be able to stand up for our Lord. And he fell on his face. And so there has to be that balance of recognizing that, yes, on our own we cannot do anything. But with God's help, we can do everything. Everything that we are set out to do that would be good for us, we can do that with His help. And there has to be those 2 things, our will and the grace of God, coming together. We cannot think that we can do anything on our own. And we also can't think that God can do everything without our part. There's a saying in at least one particular 12-step group that says, "Without God, I can't. Without me, God won't." And that is a part of our faith. Especially for those of us who are Catholics, that salvation involves both of us working together, that God can give us the grace to actually change. Not like some forensic justification, but that we actually can be transformed with His grace. We can do that. We can be transformed by His grace. And it begins by just taking those steps, however small they may be. That if we are surrendering our lives, even in the smallest ways, that with God's help, that if we are obedient to Him and surrender the way that He wants us to, even the smallest ways, if we just keep bringing the body, if we even just ask God for the willingness to do that, if we ask God for the willingness to do that, we can do it with His help. We got to just keep showing up. Without me, God won't. Without God, I can't. So let's turn to Him now.